Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube community. My name is Scootaloo, and today we're going to be looking at Scout for our Team Fortress 2 Beginner's Guide. Now, we're gonna be basically dissecting Scout into four different sections. We're gonna be having the acronym of FORD, which means fragging, objective, responsibility, and do not dot dot dot. So let's get this started. Fragging. Now, Scout has a pretty low health pool, clocking it at 125 and 110 with the Sandman. His weapons aren't very outstanding. He has pretty standard weapons, nothing that stands out of the usual. His default weapons are the scattergun, the pistol, and the bat. The scattergun is basically a little bit upgraded shotgun. Pistol is same as normal, and then the bat is just a melee weapon that does 35 damage. Now, recommended loadout for beginners or for scout players is a recommended scattergun, pistol, and a rapid assassin. If you're new at TF2 and want to get a hang of scout, the aka noob loadout is the force of nature, pistol, and the sandman. Now, to go over the recommended class that I do recommend, the scattergun, pistol, and rapid assassin. The scattergun does pretty good damage, and if you know how to play your cards right, you can do a lot of damage up close, as long as you're being conservative with those shots. Pistol is pretty good. It's just to annoy the enemy, and Rapid Assassin you can make people bleed. While the beginner's class includes the Force Nature, which can knock by enemies, and you get 10 more. You get plus 10% more pellets or something like that. So you technically get more damage even though there's a damage reduction on it. But it helps a lot, and it also pushes back enemies too, which is also helpful. And then the pistol is just there for extra damage, and the Sandman is there to stun enemies if you hit them with the ball. And another thing to consider as playing Scout is to flank and surprise enemies. This helps very much because you have a low health pool, but yet again you can deal quick and easy damage to the enemy by flanking them and doing an easily 100 damage right in their backs, and you can even follow up shots to finish them off. Another playstyle to play with this class is to always strafe your enemies when you do go into those gunfights that the enemy does notice you and they are engaging you. So you should always strafe and strafe and strafe, because if you're a scout, you do not want to be hit by a rocket. You do not want to be hit by sticky. You don't want to take damage in general. You don't want to be flamed at the most of all. So best it is to avoid all damage, since you do have a 125% mobility on it. So use your speed to your advantage and use them to outwit your enemies. And another mentality to think about when you're playing Scout is that if you have two or more people chasing you, you're evening the playing field. You are one person and you're leading two people away. If they are chasing you, lead them away from the battlefield, because that means the enemy team is down two men, and then your team is just down one man. So you're playing the numbers advantage, which is also very good. And you can also kill them, but you're distracting them, you're keeping away from the objective. Best thing to do as scout is probably frag medics, because medics give that constant heal. Objective. Now, Scout has the unique special ability with all objectives, is that he can cap or move the objective 2 times faster. So, example, payload, the max cap rate you can have on the card is 3. Scout would take 2 of those, 2 out of the 3 caps, in order to push the card at maximum speed. Also in control point, Scout counts as 2 people while capturing objectives than rather just 1. Responsibility. Now, Scout has a responsibility of doing pick damage and picking off weak classes. Their priority 1 should be medics, followed by engineers, snipers, and sort of the background classes and the backfield classes, since he does infiltrate the backlines pretty easily. Another responsibility that Scout has is to capture objectives. Now, Scout, as I said, has the 2 times cap rate on every single objective, so that was very helpful in capturing objectives. But I wouldn't say to extent to always be on the objective, because as I said, you do have low HP, and you can get killed very easily, especially in cough maps or 5 CP maps. Next responsibility that the scout has is to gather intel on what's coming up ahead. Now, this is also the spy's job, but the scout can do it as much as well because he can dodge bullets, he can dodge a lot of things with his double jump and other things. Now, the scout responsibility is to chase down low HP enemies, since he does have damage output that is exceptionally good, and he can run really fast. He is good at chasing down low HP enemies. That he is good at chasing down low HP enemies that are on the run, and just finishing off from a 1-2 shot or maybe a couple shots from the pistol. Now, some may say it is the pirate's job to spy check. I believe that is wrong. So, in all of my class videos, I will be showing you guys how to spy check properly with each class. Now, the good way to spy check with a scout is to use your hit scan weapon with a scatter gun. Just check areas like that, and if you do see him in cloak and he glows red, it's okay to melee him, so because he can't outrun you, so you can just melee him to death. Do not. Now, in this do not section, we have 3 things to cover that are basic do nots and big no-nos while playing scout. So the first one is to be on the front lines. Now, there's a difference between being on the front lines and being the back lines. Being on the front lines just mean you're up there with a soldier, medic, and the soldier medic combo, heavies, pyros, demo men. You're up with those guys, and you should not be up with those guys. You'll be flanking around. You should be going to hell and back just to get a flank on the enemy, because you'll be pummeled if you did jump in front of the enemy at 125 HP, and you'll get shredded in a couple seconds. Second thing, a big no-no is to melee decloak spies. I've seen this too much. I have been victim of this before. Spies and the backstabs are a little bit BS sometimes, so it is best you do not melee spies when they are decloaked, because sometimes the game registers that it is a backstab even though they just stab you in the front, and you also have the occasional pro spies who can trick stab you from compensating your speed towards them. So do not melee decloak spies. And the number 3 biggest no-no for playing scout is to run in front of any sentries. That includes mini sentries, level 1, level 2, or level 3 sentries set up by the engineer. I cannot stress how much sentries are a weakness to scout. Now, scout does have a counter to this. You can use the bonk atomic punch, but that is only invulnerability from everything missing you for 8 seconds. You can't actually take down a sentry. It's more of a distraction, so you actually have to go in with your team for that. So it is not your job to take sentries, but if you do have to take down a sentry, use corners and use the target acquisition of the sentry to help you take down the sentry. For instance, if it is behind a corner, since the scout has very fast movement speed, he can strafe shot the sentry, mini sentry, or whatever until it is no more. So I believe that's a wrap for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to see anything else in these sort of tutorials for the classes, then please tell me. I'll change it up. I'll probably delete this one and re-upload a new one with the new content in it. So please comment down below if you think I'm missing anything. So I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, and if you did like the video, please like the video, and I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Goodbye.